Senator McGrath.
Thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. Look, I was very interested in what happened earlier this afternoon here. I'm very new to this place, and some of the old hands that are here have said they've never seen anything like it. They've never seen anything like the shambles that took place with what happened with Labor, and the sort of cataclysmic sort of destruction of Labor's position. And sitting on this side of the chamber, looking across at the Labor senators, and the stunned look on their faces. And I always wondered what the collective noun for stunned mullets would be. And I know what it is. It's the Senate Labor caucus, because they had no idea what was going on. And it is a day that I shall remember for a long time. But I also hear that Senator Wong's leadership is under attack. That Senator Conroy, who got 98% of the vote for his pre-selection, a very North Korean vote, and I congratulate him. I'd love to get 98% for my pre-selection, hopefully in a few years' time. And I sort of shudder to think what's happened to the 2% who didn't vote for Senator Conroy. But I understand, my friends in the gallery, I understand that Senator Conroy is walking the corridors, doing numbers to rid Labor of Senator Wong. But I'm not here to talk about the Labor shambles this afternoon. I want to talk about the ABC and what happened on Q&A last night, and I also want to talk about some union dodginess that's taking place over in Western Australia, and also something that's taking place in Queensland. But I'll get to the union dodginess later. I want to talk about the ABC. Unfortunately, I think there's a position being taken by some people who think that I, Senator McGrath, don't like the ABC. I love the ABC. And I will protest to the day I die how much I love the ABC. I'm devastated I missed Doctor Who on Sunday night because I was stuck on a plane. I love my local ABC on the Sunshine Coast. I think they do a fantastic job. But I do not like Q&A. And I think the ABC is allowing Q&A to poison the well of community support for the ABC. Last night, once again, we saw another program from Q&A where we had 5 people on the panel, but only one person who was from the centre-right, in terms of being Minister Keenan from the other place. We had 4 panellists who were clearly left of centre, and of course we have the compere, who is also clearly left of centre. It just would be nice, just once, actually more than once. The ABC supposedly is for all of Australia. It's supposed to be our ABC, but it's not. The ABC is only there for a minority of people if you watch Q&A. It would be nice for the panel to have more than one Conservative or Liberal person on the panel. It would be nice for the ABC to have 2 people or 3 people or 4 people. It'd be nice to have a compere occasionally who occasionally might tack to the right, to the centre-right. That would be fantastic. But, you know, pigs might fly. And then we get to the audience. And I noticed last night the ABC said 39% of the audience members were coalition supporters. Well, that is a clear fib. I don't know where they're getting these people from. I don't know what methods of classification or self-selection is going on with the ABC to where an audience with a say is 39%, it's clearly not. I don't think I've seen any Q&A program where there's been more than 10% of the audience who I'd be happy to say would be coalition supporters. It's not because coalition supporters don't clap as much as those on the left, or we don't holler and cheer as much. It's just that the audiences are clearly always biased to the left and to the far left. And I think it is dangerous for the ABC to continue with this. And we saw some media in the last couple of days that the ABC once again are flying a kite that they want to get rid of late line because of cost cutting. We've seen a previous kite been flown about Peppa Pig being abolished. And I love Peppa Pig. Peppa Pig, I think, is a great program. With my godchildren, I sit down and watch Peppa Pig. I think Peppa Pig is just fantastic. I would say to the ABC, abolish Q&A and put Peppa Pig on, because you'll get more insightful political commentary from Peppa Pig than you will from Q&A. So if you want to get a program, I nominate Q&A. But I'm not here just to talk about the ABC. I'm here to talk about some unfortunate events that have been taking place in a couple of unions, a couple of student unions. And what we've learnt about the Labor Party and the left is that they do get them while they're young, and they learn bad things while they're young. Because the twin pillars of the union movement in this country at the moment are financial dodginess and then just political dodginess. And there are two student unions at the moment where some bad things are going down. And I'd like to read a letter that I've had cause to be sent to the Police Commissioner of Western Australia this afternoon. And I'll read it out. Dear Commissioner O'Callaghan, I write to request that you please investigate an alleged fraud within the Student Guild at the University of Western Australia. I am concerned an alleged fraud of hundreds of thousands of dollars may have been perpetrated against students. I'll be happy to provide details upon request. Now, what's happened over there is that it's alleged between $800,000 and $900,000 worth of student money, SAF money, compulsorily acquired student money, has been misappropriated within the Guild. Now, a fun fact, it's more than double than what Craig Thompson took from the HSU. It's more than 40% of the Guild's annual budget. Now, forensic accountants, I'm informed, were engaged to investigate and conduct a full audit. That's a good thing. I think that's good. That's accountability. They get a check. Now, well, the accountants were only called in after several months of the Labor-controlled Student Guild refusing to be called to account for the dodginess that had taken place. Now, despite BDO having confirmed that the money is missing, the Student Guild, the Labor-controlled Student Guild, who were in the middle of an election this week, are refusing to do anything about it. They've effectively created a quasi-protection racket, and they've not released the audit report or any information to the Guild's 20,000 student members. Now, I've written to the Police Commissioner to ask him to investigate, but I'm also calling upon the university to intervene. This is a serious case of alleged fraud against students. And where are the Labor students on this? Well, what we're seeing is a big, fat, stinking cover-up by Labor students. Allegations of theft have been covered up by Labor students in a scandal that would make the Watergate burglars blush with embarrassment. Now, Labor students should be standing up for students and not hiding alleged wrongdoing. But it's not just over in the University of Western Australia where dodginess is happening. We go to Griffith University. And I do have a conflict of interest here. I should declare that I am an alumni of Griffith University that I went to for 5 years and didn't particularly bother the lecturers too much. And what we're seeing at Griffith University is that the Student Representative Council there have held meetings without quorum and without giving sufficient notice in order to call the elections, while also appointing a Labor official as their returning officer. Now, I wrote to the university to point this out. So, yes, thank you, Senator O'Sullivan. No sufficient notice was given in terms of when this election should be called. Now, they're also voting this week in an election that is effectively ultra vires. Now, the university had a conversation with the Student Representative Council, and the Student Representative Council, despite calling an election with insufficient notice, without having quorum at the meeting, decided, we won't proceed with the Labor's returning officer. They appointed someone else at a meeting that also didn't have sufficient notice. So we've got another misdemeanour on another misdemeanour in terms of a further example of Labor students and Labor unions failing to follow due process. So we have alleged fraud over in the West, and we have fraud in Griffith University would make poor Mr. Josky sort of turn in his grave in terms of failing to follow basic meeting procedure. And I'm calling upon Griffith University to stop washing your hands of this matter. This reflects poorly upon Griffith University. You do have an obligation to intervene. I'm calling upon Griffith University to intervene. And if they don't, well, we're just going to keep on going with this. So, thank you.